Hey, babe.
What's up?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Bona Fide Bullshit Episode 1.
Bona Fide episode bullshit one. Who?
I don't get that part.
You didn't think that joke that far.
That's as far as I got.
What is going on, everybody? And welcome to Bona Fide Bullshit, which is also known as Bona Fide BS, the podcast, episode 1. We are fully here. Huge. Hey, what is? I got to do this real quick. Huge shout out to our boy Mars. Mars killed that little intro right there with that beat for the show. I'm still over here jumping and vibing, even though you hit me with that little knock joke.
I love me some Mars.
So do I. That's my guy right there, forever and a day. Learned a lot from that man. For those of you who do know me, you know who he is. I toured the world with him. He showed me a lot of my music side, and we'll get into those stories down the road as we continue with these podcasts. And he always comes correct, and he's always got that good ear. I'm real glad that intro just kind of fits perfect. It's the right amount of ratchet with the right amount of
does.
In for this show.
But listen, I don't, mean to take over the show right away.
Too late.
But too late. It's my show now. I have to say that I voted today.
Yes, that is very true.
I voted. So this is
Hold on. Wait,
okay.
You voted today, but you voted today for the first time.
For the first time in my entire life and 38 years. It was my first time fucking voting.
Babe, I'm really proud of you. We went this morning. I'm glad you went. For some reason, I don't, maybe because we never really talk politics like that as a married couple.
I'm not a big politics person.
And when I've gone and vote, either I've done it after work or after like on my own time. But today, was actually a day we were able to go together. And yeah, we're out there, and you're like, oh, guess what?
That shit was crazy though.
Yeah.
Like that was way more than my pay grade.
Were you hyperventilating real bad?
What?
Were you hyperventilating real bad
I was
in the booth?
sweating.
Because I saw it. I was
profusely.
Looking. I decided to do the touchscreen. You decided to do the keep it old school, scribble in your vote. And I looked over, and I'm sure like
it was like the worst Scantron you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, and
legit.
I'm sure whatever you want to call them, like the reps that are there, I forgot there's an actual title for them, but I know he's looking at me like, why do I keep looking that way? But I mean, he probably didn't know.
And I was looking around too, and I thought, oh my god, this guy's gonna think I'm like up to some shit, or I'm gonna get in trouble, like because everything's very serious in that room. So
very serious, very high level. Obviously, we are in these coronavirus times right now with COVID-19. And so, I mean, they were only letting a certain amount of people in. Everything kept them moving, thankfully, which I have to think maybe a lot of this has to do with early voting. We weren't there that long. We got in, we got out. No, it really wasn't
bad. But listen, like 2 pieces of paper, double-sided, so many words I don't understand, so many names that I don't know. Like, no, you warned me slightly about this. You said, there's going to be some names you don't know, blah, blah, blah. But, like, there was about 750 more names that I anticipated.
Here's the deal. There was, like, out of that 750, like, 745 were, like, fucking judges. Like, local judges and local bullshit. Which people get lost in the sauce.
Yeah. Here we go again. Lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce. That's what
You love those sayings.
Yes, I do.
Anyways.
Yeah. So, they get lost in the sauce looking at all those judges. They could get overwhelming for certain people, or certain people that, whether they're a first-time voter or just a casual voter, that if you're not in tune with all that little extra side shit, could definitely throw you off and get you into like a freak-out mode.
Like, listen, I was just looking for the 2 names that we all know. And we're not going to get into it or talk about who voted for who, but like, I was looking for those 2 names and thought, all right, this is going to be a wrap after this. No, it just kept fucking going. And there were so many circles that I had to fill in that I just started getting nervous and started going like, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, no, no. Oh, that looks like a nice name. I'm just going to fill this out. I saw green and I was like, oh, that looks
you found the green party?
Yeah, so filled that bitch in a couple times. Like, I don't know. So anyways, besides the point, I voted today in my first time in 38 years, and I'm pretty proud. Do you think that's weird? Do you think I'm, weird that I haven't voted for this long in my entire life?
I mean,
it's not normal, right? Like, it's not normal. I don't know.
I'm going to put that question to our users who are going to be eventually listening to this once this episode is out. Hit us up on our Instagram. Check out the Bona Fide Instagram, which is the best way to get a hold of us. That's going to be at BONAFIDE_BS. And let us know if share your thoughts. Hit us up, slide in the DMs, let us know what's going on. For me personally, because I've known you, I don't find it that weird because you're also the same person that doesn't know who's like who's on a $5 bill.
I'm going to say, you told me this before. Washington.
No, Washington is
George is the he's the 10.
No, he's not the 10 either.
He's the 1.
Yeah, he's the $3.
He's the dollar. He's the dollar bills.
Yeah, he's on the dollar. On the $5
Listen,
is Abraham Lincoln. How can you not know Abe Lincoln on the $5 bill?
The phone. Ask me who's on the $100 bill.
Oh, I was gonna ask you. I was gonna prove a point right now for all the ladies out there. You definitely holding it down for ladies. Who is on the $100 bill?
Holla at the Benjamins.
Exactly, Benjamin who?
Franklin.
There you go. Look at that. You knew who was on the $100 bill because you're on some I don't have 5s, I don't have 1s. What is a 10?
I only got those hundos. You know what I mean?
Right. You barely even got 20s and 50s in your pocket right now. You're over here talking about you got hundos you're making it drizzle. Is what you're doing. You're not even making it rain.
It's a little bit of a drizzle. It's just a slight drizzle.
So yeah, I mean, for me knowing some of that little bit of history, I am not totally surprised.
Yeah, but I'm not a big politics person. I guess I never felt like I was that knowledgeable enough to be like, oh, I'm fully in for this person or that person, that I could, go to a voting place and feel like good about my decision. So
that's basically what your reasoning is behind it. Because now that you're saying that, I never asked you flat out. I never been like, hey, why don't you? So it's just been lack of interest is what you're saying.
I guess so. Or I was just really confident in what was going on in our country, I guess. Truly, and now there's a lot of weird shit going on, okay? There's a fucking pandemic. There's a lot of fucking weird shit. So, maybe this is the year I felt like, you know what? Maybe my vote matters. Maybe I'm just going to give this shit a whirl.
To me, every vote matters every time you get the chance to. I've always been a big proponent of, you let these other countries that don't get the chance to vote, that are just run over. So it's like, hey, take your moment to vote. Has there been elections? I'd be lying since, I'm 35, 36. Since I've been 18, there's been elections where I've just been like, I don't have no interest. But then as you get older, you have certain interests, especially with local government stuff, local things like the fair tax situation is going on in Illinois, stuff of that nature that affects me at my front doorstep. Then you go ahead and you take an eye to it. But it's so funny how being educated when I was young, I'm what you would call, I'm not left, I'm not right, I'm undecided. I kind of just every election I kind of swing and see where things are going if I have personal interest in it. And it's funny that when you're younger, how my father would always instill in us Democrats for the rich, Republicans for the poor. And then when you get older, you realize wait a second, a real popular Republican, Abraham Lincoln, who freed his slaves, wasn't all about that, and I'm sure there's little backstories and other drama, but I'm saying you didn't know that as a kid, and the way your folks tell you end up running with that. But your father is he's in tuning in with politics in the Philippines and politics here. That never rubbed off on you?
But yeah, no, it sure didn't. I guess like you said, I never fucking had interest. But I do think that it's helped having you because you are so knowledgeable of so many. And I think this is the weird thing, and I've always told you this. You look smarter than you are. And I feel like I look smarter than I actually am, and I'm not.
I guess I'll take that as a backhanded compliment.
Yeah. Whereas, I could kind of fake it, but I'm so not smart.
That compliment's
I fully admit that.
That compliment's like saying, babe, you're not fat, you're just thick.
You're thick. You're voluptuous.
I see what you're saying.
And you used to say that to me all the time. But anyways, that's for another day. But no, you are way smarter than you look. It's just you know shit about everything, and I don't know where the fuck you get it from or where you have the time to read about it, hear about it, listen to shit. But you just know so much stuff, and I know so little. It's actually pretty sad sometimes.
It is. I mean, I try to stay up to date with current events, whether, at night, here's an example. At night, you'll sit there and you'll watch 4 hours of TLC.
Oh my
with
God.
all their hot garbage shows, which
so much.
I'd be fucking lying if I didn't do peak
90
when I opened.
Fiance for life.
For life all
for
day.
Life.
You have that shit tattooed on your lower back.
Fuck yeah.
But I sit and I'll read articles, I'll read, reviews, I start
and I just don't read.
No, and sometimes I'm skimming through stuff and I'm popping in whether it's stuff for technical stuff when it comes to The Verge and all the goofy electronics and app, iPhones and all that, or if I'm getting on Reddit for articles.
You have always loved history and like you've always loved
history.
That stuff, I just have not.
See, I always been a big in the now guy. Like I want to know in the now, like what's going on now, what's happening, whether it's celebrities, whether it's like pop culture, whether it's actual history, news, events, whatever it is. I've always been in tune with it, and that's just something that I've always been a part of. And I think that's always made it good for me. Like when I carry on conversations with certain people. That they're always just like I was told once like, oh, you're real good, like what is it, the chameleon, that you could adapt to whatever the environment is. It's not even
like,
that.
If someone starts talking politics or history, I'm literally sitting there like I have no idea what's going on. I could probably fake it a little bit, but it's probably pretty obvious that like I can't like expand on whatever subject you're speaking of.
And to be honest with you, I'll tell you right now, like for me personally, I know people would say this to joke with someone. They're like, oh, you're the jack of all trades but a master of none. And I guess that's how I am. Like I just know a little bit of all that stuff.
Listen, calm down.
I know a little bit of everything, but not enough to get me in trouble and get myself killed. But as they say, I like to just dabble in everything and be just dabbled and be up to date with current things that are going on.
Maybe that's like, I don't know. Maybe that's like the creative side of my brain. Like I've always been in art. Like I went to school for art, and like that's the side that you are so interested in, like history and all those other details. Like I'm so not into any of that. Like I'm the artsy fartsy side, like head in the clouds kind of person. And this just goes to show like how different we are. Like seriously, like polar opposites in every fucking way. Big time. But I wouldn't change it for the world. Like there's some days I don't even know how we get along because we're like so opposite. Legit.
You
that's
like
not even me being funny.
You like to lift weights and I like to lift cigars.
Yeah.
But I mean, you saying the whole creative thing, and as we're letting people into our world, for those of you guys that don't know, you have a pretty good extensive background in creative and design, right?
Yes, and
that's actually how we met.
Yeah, FYI to everyone, that is how we met. We met in a really big corporate office where we both worked, and we both eventually got fired from because the whole company got canned.
I mean, yeah they're getting sold. Yes.
But we did meet there, and that's how this love affair started.
It did. And would you like to allude how this love affair started? Would you like to hint how everything happened?
Speaking of creative, I worked in the creative department. I was a designer for a private label company. And you were working in office services.
Yes, office services.
Right? And, I would see you walk by, but more importantly, I would smell you from afar.
In a good way or a bad way? Let's be clear for our listeners.
Okay, listen.
That could go either way.
Okay. Let me explain. It was a good smell. Yeah. He wore a Perry Ellis. It was like a red bottle, right?
Yeah, it was. Excuse me, you caught me mid drink as I'm having a little quick drink.
Okay.
Here. I used to use, and I say it now, and if you would have asked me this circa 2000, from like 2004 to like 2013.
We met in 2008. We've known each other for 12 years now, if you have lost track.
Potato. But I would never tell people what I was using, and I was using a Cologne Perry Ellis 360 Red, and that was my go-to. People would always ask me, like, oh my God, you smell so good. What is it?
And he wouldn't tell anyone because this is like how he got all the hoes. But I was the hoe.
Incriminate yourself?
I was the hoe that held him down.
You sure were. But the thing is that, yeah, I mean, to me, that's like, it's cologne, it's your scent. Like you knew it was me walking in. Now, if there was a coworker of mine that walked in, you'd be able to tell him if he smelled like shit.
I literally could not smell anyone else. You were the only one who I could smell because, and this is where I'm going to be truthful, it was a very good smell. That cologne was so good. Mm-hmm. But you literally bathed in it. Like every ounce of your body and your clothing down to your shoes had that shit on it.
I went through fucking bottles of that shit. I mean, I was at a first name basis at Perfumania when I would go pick it up. That I don't even have to fucking walk in and browse. I'd walk in, they'd be like, "Oh, hey, we got you right now. Here it is in the bag, $40 and whatever fucking change." And I paid for it.
You actually stopped wearing that was when we had our last one, and I just remember being pregnant, and everything made me feel nauseous, especially your cologne.
You know what? I'm gonna argue
That's
that.
What made me feel
I think at that
nauseous.
point I was already weeding down from using cologne.
Maybe.
I was starting to cut back on using cologne. I didn't use it as much as I did, and then there was other ones that were coming out that I was trying. And I mean, I really do miss wearing cologne, and I haven't really been real big into them lately. Like I said, I kind of miss wearing them, but when we do go out for date night, I'll have the one that you bought me. That's a cigar theme one.
I really like that one, actually.
It's
I know
nice
that was a very
smell.
weird, odd buy. I bought it just because of what's the word, like the novelty of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute, but it actually ended up smelling really good.
It does, but that was my scent, and so my scent used to get the hose, and I definitely got trapped down by this one, as you just
That's
said.
right.
And,
Ho no mo.
yeah, and then funny story for those of you who don't know, you're gonna find out. Like, so I go ahead and you slid into my MySpace and Facebook message
Sure
inbox.
did.
You hit me up
With that glitter shit.
yeah,
the glitter gifts.
with the big fucking glitter gift with the little cartoon girl with the baggy
like
jeans.
stopping
and,
by to say hi.
yeah, that type of shit. And I was DJing at a couple of different clubs downtown, and I happened to be doing an event with Mars, and I invited you out. I said, "Hey, come out." And
Oh, we're gonna talk about this.
we could go there.
Like
yeah,
how you
I'm-
really dislike
I'm
me.
going there, and I fucking could not
Girl.
fucking stand the sight of you after that night.
Oh my god, yeah, it's true. It's really crazy that that's so unbelievably true.
Well, the whole gist of it is that like you come out, I'm DJing at this place called Vane. It's no longer open downtown Chicago, and you came out pretty deep with your crew. And the thing is that I
Per
think
usual.
what was going on here is I'm always big and I'm always known to joke around, fuck around, have good laughs. And you kind of came at me real fast where I couldn't. You were like one of the first girls that I couldn't tell. Like,
I am literally the most sarcastic person.
Yeah, like, I
sarcastic and blunt person ever, and I cannot like tone myself down in any kind of way, shape, or form ever.
no, and I couldn't tell. I'm like, is she fucking with me? Is she joking with me? She's being serious. And it got to the point where I was like, man, fuck this bitch. And I said, I made up this bogus lie that I had to go backstage and handle some stuff, and I couldn't be down at the bottom. And I just kicked it in back and fucking did our due, and you ended up
If I remember
leaving.
correctly, what really pushed you over the edge is you were with your crew, which was just like a handful of guys, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the guys was wearing like 20 pairs of sunglasses. And I was like, why the fuck does this
Still
guy
does.
got like 20 pairs of sunglasses inside the club where it's dark as fuck? And I think that's what I had said. And I think you were like offended.
Well, that's that whole era where it's like, if you talk about my boys and you talk about me and I got my boys back, and that particular crew that I was with was more than just boys, was more than just, it's deeper than family at that moment in time. Like, that was a brotherhood. Those are guys that I've spent long nights on the road with, fucking slept in the same bed with, scraped up money for food with in the studio. You know?
Then you have this hoe coming
So
along.
you had it,
like,
and I'm like,
talking
hold
shit.
on a second. Like, what the fuck are you? Like, blah, blah, blah.
And for everyone who knows me, like already personally, knows that's just how I am. And I've been that way, and I continue to be that way, and it's just
Facts.
never changed. And I think you realize that obviously at some point or another, because you just keep coming back. As much as I
Baby,
try,
come back.
like, as much as I try to get rid of you, you just keep on coming back
It's
because
like-
you come back for the good stuff. Know what I mean?
It's like you're an Australian. I'm a fucking boomerang.
That's right. Yeah, that's
you-
you love it.
And you love playing with my didgeridoo.
You play with what?
The didgeridoo. Google it.
I don't know what that means, and I also don't like the word. But anyways,
So, and then that parlayed into, I can't even know what happened, where we ended up just deciding to go on a first date. And I think it might have been talking with my crew or whatever, and them being like, nah, she seems real cool, blah, blah, blah. And I said, maybe I'm reading too into it. And so then I reached out to you, and we went on a movie date, that was for the beginning
our first
of.
date was inside the office, but that's for another time.
Yeah, that's for another time.
That's it.
That wasn't even called. I don't think it was a date. But yeah, we
Do we
decided.
need sound effects on this show?
Yeah, eventually we will. Once the budget increases, we'll be good.
We need a budget.
Yeah, we get the budget going, and we
need
get the
a budget.
sponsorships, and then we do the
We
do.
need a sponsor.
Or
okay.
unless you guys out there want to throw some sponsorship money, we'll promote you, and we could
Holla.
get a little sound effect thing. But yeah, we decided to go to the movies, and which was one of our big things when we first started dating. Was like
we
to this
still
day,
love movies.
yeah, we love like
That's probably one of the two things that we can agree on that we both truly like is movies.
not to take a quick sidestep, but before fucking
Stop.
all this quarantine happened, or it was just on the peak of it before they started locking shit down, and they did lock stuff down. That final weekend, we were at the fucking movie theaters with the kids.
What did we say?
Impractical
yeah, I
Jokers,
was
the
gonna
movie,
say.
yeah, and we were there, and it was just us.
Man, that shit was funny.
And it was fucking hilarious.
That fucking movie
Fucking
is
hilarious.
Fucking hilarious.
And then like that Sunday, they're like, starting next week, everything is gonna be shut down. But anyways, I digress. So
you always digress.
yeah, we go to see. Do you even remember what the movie was that we went to go see?
Yes.
What was it?
As the Asians.
It has the Asians and who else?
And the old white guy that's very popular actor. I
Oh
can't
wow,
think
that
of
narrows
his
it
name.
down real fast.
Yeah, that really did.
You're talking about yes, Clint Eastwood. It was Gran Torino.
Gran Torino, that's it.
Gran Torino.
I fucking had it at the tip of my tongue, but yes, I know exactly the movie.
It's a great movie for those of you guys who haven't seen it. Great movie, check it out. It's based on, I'm not gonna get into the details with it, but there's an ancient family, some stuff happens. Gran Torino comes to the mix.
That has been really like our thing always. Like if we have a date night up until this day, like you said, pre-quarantine, is kind of like our go-to. Go to the movies. Go have some snacks. Go whatever.
Yeah, that's always been our thing, and it's just kind of been shitty. And we kind of have been tempted to go to the movies recently. And
we actually drove by one today, and I thought, it doesn't look packed. Like, maybe we should just give it a whirl before
I don't mind.
It really shuts
down.
I
mean, I don't mind. I think maybe we would. Maybe we'll see what's going on this week, and we'll see what's out there. I know there's not putting that much out there. But, so that was our first date, and then it just kind of...
And here we are, 12 years later.
12 years later.
We met in 2008. We got married, and what year did we get married?
2013.
You knew it.
Oh,
anyways, you knew it. Okay, so we got married in 2013, so we've been married for 7 years.
7 years.
And they say if you get past the 7 years, past the 7-year itch, you're going to be good to go.
You know what? I think if you get passed together as a family and as a married couple during a quarantine, I think you get through anything. Because we were on top of each other's fucking throats.
Fucking rough.
Granted, my main job on the side, main job, whatever you want to fucking call it, is considered essential, so I was out still doing things.
Yes. I definitely think that helps because, it was just a lot, all of us being home. And like, e-learning, we all know, like, the craziness of that right now. Like, fucking the kids and everything, the house, husband, wife. Like, it's so much at one time. And everyone is just going through it. Like, it is hard to deal these days.
Everyone, and I've talked to, from the parents, obviously other parents that we talk to that we have chats with, who even a good friend of mine who was my teacher in high school, who was a teacher, and he's told me like, hey, we're going through this shit too. Like
everyone's suffering.
These districts are really fucking shit up, but obviously the teachers are the face of it. So they're right away. Some of these parents come out and they're like, what the fuck's with the teacher? The teacher's fucking nuts. Granted, there are some teachers that do some bogus stuff because we've seen that happen in our own son's Zoom where they're more hands off or they just kind of don't give a fuck. But
then, like,
they're in it too. Everybody's in the thick of it, learning on the fly.
Our teacher is like the most amazing first grade teacher ever.
She's fucking awesome.
It's so sad that they're actually not in school. I think they're really losing out. So, anyways, we're all just trying to deal as best as we can, but man, fuck e-learning is literally all I have to say.
That is your quote. I mean, I joke when people ask me, I'm like, well, the wife is the principal, the lunch lady, the teacher, the superintendent.
The fucking janitor. It's too much. It's one too many jobs. And I always say, like, it's shitty because, like, no one gets 100%. I don't get 100% of me. You don't. The kids don't. My job doesn't. Mm-hmm. No one does, and it fucking sucks right now. And everyone's at the losing end. The teachers, all of us. So
everyone is, and it's unfortunate, like I said, because
2020 blows.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing where everybody's learning on the curve. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's learning on the fly with everything that's going on. It's like right now it's a world of just of adapting to your surroundings, and everyone's just having to adapt. And you got some folks that are back in school. I know, like, our nephew, he's in school as a hybrid schedule.
I'm so jealous.
Schedule, I said schedule. As a hybrid schedule. I mean, they offer that for our son.
And some are in full time. Like, every, I don't know, county or whatever city is so different. So, whatever.
It's crazy, but
we're all doing our best, and I think that's why it's just like we just have to fucking be kind to each other and be kind to ourselves, man, because we're all just trying our best, and some days are hard. Like, sometimes I'm here at home crying, sometimes I'm here yelling at everyone, and some days are okay, but in these times, like, what can you really expect, honestly?
No, and I think you do a fairly awesome job of trying to round up. Yeah,
you should reword that. Let's start again. Rewind.
I think you do an awesome, fairly good job.
Oh my god!
With our kids, no. I mean, in all seriousness, like, you do a great job with both the boys.
You know what kind of job I think you do?
What?
A piss poor.
Thank you. That's what I strive for. Boom! Look at that.
Boom!
That is my listeners. That is what we call a life hack, right there.
God.
Right?
Low standards.
Low standards,
Keep
or like
your
they always say,
low.
Yeah.
And you'll never be disappointed.
Nah, you won't be. Exactly.
I'm disappointed.
You know, you're overpromise, underdeliver.
Yeah.
You know, the opposite of what it is. But you know, you on all seriousness, you do a great job with the boys. And even though I know they both drive you nuts because we have a middle schooler and we have a kid in elementary, so the learning spectrum is different for both. Obviously, you have one who's kind of know more with his hands on, but then tends to use the schedule they give him. I should said use. I mean, don't use the fucking schedule they give them.
Don't use.
Where our younger one, you have to be more on.
Don't use the schedule. Don't use the fucking Zoom. Don't use anything.
And then you know what fucks them up is that when we were kids, like. All this online shit, like right now we hop on his little campus, whatever app, it'll tell us when he hands shit in what his grade is on the spot. Where our folks had to wait for a progress report and a report card.
And listen, there's an app, there's an email, there's, whatever they have online on their little Chromebooks that they use. Like there's literally everything. They send, mail in the actual mail, like notes saying, hey, your kid isn't doing so good. Like every kind of way.
Oh, the coddle game is strong.
You. Yeah, they will contact you, text, anything.
The only time I can remember if a teacher or school want to get a hold of parents because like their kid beat the shit out of somebody so bad. Otherwise, they were trying to have zero fucking conversation. Now schools literally hold your hand all the way, and I still don't know how I feel about that. Like I felt like our generation, not to do the okay boomer talk, but like I feel like our generation, we had to fall on our fucking faces a lot to learn our shit. We're here, they're like.
It's a lot.
Grabbing them before they fall.
It's so different.
And it's just setting them up for failure. They're just setting up for failure big time. Like I said, they literally, for our oldest, they paint everything out for him, what he's got to do, what time he's got to do. And the motherfucker still. I'll get an email when I'm at work that says you're... I told him, how the fuck are you late or absent for an online class when you're in the fucking house?
Zoom. Put on your... Well, he said he didn't put on my camera. Yeah, put on your fucking camera so they could see more than your forehead. How about that?
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. The camera shots are fucking...
The forehead game is strong in teens, okay? Like, they love that forehead shot.
For real. Like
that's the moneymaker for them right now.
What kills me is, God bless my son, he comes upstairs all dressed up.
God bless him is right.
He comes all upstairs dressed to the nines like he was going to school. He puts his fucking shoes on. He puts his everything. He's coming... I'm like... You just
the fuck you got the shoes on for? I just fucking cleaned the floors. Take off your shoes.
Meanwhile, our youngest is still trying to wear his pajamas. He's eating Cheerios midway through the Good Morning Welcome song they sing. Like
he gives no fucks. He's about the snack life like me.
Oh, all day, every day. And he's also gets a lot of fucking breaks. But it's been, for those of you out there, if you guys can relate, hit us up and let us know too. Like, it's one of those things where like, how's your kid adjusting? How are they getting along with some of the e-learning?
Please tell me that you have the same problems of me, because I just have to know that I'm not alone. I just want to know.
I fucking wish that I had the opportunity to be home at a laptop and look up the answers versus me being in school having to fucking study for the answers. And I had this conversation with a buddy of mine at a cigar shop where he said his daughter, he's like, oh my gosh, you don't want to hand nothing in, da 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 da. And then she's like, she's at home, and I'm like, now's your time to like.
Now's your time to shine, man.
Yeah, like easy to get away with shit, and it's like you're choosing not to, which I'm fucking dumbfounded. And our son totes that fucking line where he'll get on that, but then he'll fucking hand shit in, or he'll wait and then hand a lot of shit in at the end, and then he gets the report card and it just comes with fucking good colors.
That's what I think pisses me off even more, is because he's so fucking smart. Without trying, without studying, without any of that, he's smart.
I remember
I'd like to think he gets it from me, but anyways.
But I remember, like, as a kid, like, always hearing my parents be like, I know you're smarter than what you are, the way you're acting. And it's like, now as a parent, you catch yourself saying it, you're like, I doubt if your family said that, because I know you were the smart one and you were fucking praised and the fucking rose petals came out every morning.
3.8 GPA, graduated with all the honors and shit, not to brag.
What does GPA
Now
stand
I'm fucking
for?
dumb as rock, so I guess it doesn't matter. You see how like it all comes around?
That's full circle. That's full
fucking circle.
That's called fucking street smarts. Street smarts will always fucking win, because street smarts is real fucking life.
Because you were like dumb as rocks as far as books, and now look at you. You like
I don't
even know like the shit that you know where it comes from. Honestly.
I fucking hated it. I couldn't stand it. I felt like I was bored. I just felt like I was always the kid that looked out the window, and I literally had
I loved it.
In report cards where they wrote that in a report card that said loves to wander and look out the window, because I just was always thinking of a life beyond those fucking walls.
No, I loved school.
See, and I just was like the polar opposite.
Opposites attract.
They sure fucking do.
Is what they say.
I mean, that's a fucking purifying definition of what we are.
Some days,
Some days are good, some days are bad, but hey, you win some, you lose some. You like my quotes?
Yeah, you love the
but
quotes.
You live to fight another day.
Oh my.
Yeah, boy.
Oh
I'll be here all fucking day, people, and I don't even got to.
He won't be there all
it's
day.
It's coming up. No, you're right. I won't. But exactly. But to let everybody know, we appreciate you guys tuning in. This is episode 1 officially.
Episode 1.
Officially episode 1 of the Bona Fide Bullshit Podcast. Don't forget, make sure you guys follow us. We follow right back on Instagram at bonafide_BS. That's BONAFIDE_BS. You could also follow my lovely wife, Angelica. Want to give them that handle?
Holla at me on Instagram if you're into fitness and food and stupid shit. Fit_mess_mom. Holla.
And you can follow me in all my reckless activities, whether I'm smoking cigars or just hanging out with my family, causing a ruckus, and that's going to be Smoking E, but that's spelled SMKN_E. And as you see, we love our fucking underscores.
Man, the fucking underscores, man. We killing it at that.
The fucking underscores are real. Well, with that said, we appreciate you guys. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. Be on the lookout for the next episode.
Yes, and comment, please. Let us know what you want to talk about. We are here for all of it.
That's it. This is the Bona Fide BS Podcast.
Peace out.